suicide net only went up in 1923. Electric lighting was first installed about 1906. And they didn't have render on the walls when the place was first opened, but it's not really all that different, 1850s to 1991. The place has never really changed or upgraded. And that is what every cell looked like in this prison when the place was first built. So in the system, you have one person assigned to each cell. So this is convict standard, 4 foot wide, 7 foot long, 1.2 meters, 2.1. One convict's hammock, little desk and bench.
Oh, small.
Mm.
Oh,
You had your breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the cell.
very small.
Or as they called it, breakfast, dinner, and supper.
Wait, wait. Do you want to go?
I can lock them in if you want.
They were thinking about the end of the
Yeah,
talk.
lock them in. Only an hour.
No, he'll rip the place.
Now, guys, you'll notice that there isn't any plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a toilet.
Oh my
bucket.
gosh.
Yeah, that toilet bucket is 1850s.
Oh,
This toilet bucket, 1990s.
wow.
Yeah, there's no plumbing up until the prison closed. They didn't have plumbing in this place.
Oh.
There are showers and toilets, but in the cells there is no running water. So you need to take water with you overnight. Generally, even right up until 91, you're locked in for about 16 hours
Oh.
overnight. Toilet buckets are emptied once a day. By the prisons, you empty yourself in the morning. So every cell is like this until the end of the 1890s. Now, by the turn of the century, the prison population had dropped. And I should point out, there were 500 cells like this in this building. By the end of the 19th century, prison population had dropped to about 150. There was so much spare room. There had been several different recommendations over the years of improvements that could potentially be made, but because they had so much space in the prison, it was decided to double the size of the cells. So if you look over here, originally this was 2 individual cells like that one. What they've ultimately done is knock out every,
It's 136 years old, this prison, guys.
So you end up with double
Very
size
old.
cell. So again, one person, but now you've got twice the amount of space. Until we get to the mid-1960s, when the prison population had gotten so high, they ended up having to put bunk beds in and have 2 people in each. So even if you've got 2 people, there's still only ever 1 toilet bucket between them until 1991. So you'd be potentially sharing this 16 hours. Even until 91, 3 showers a week at the most, of which 1 was compulsory, 2 changes of clothes a week. Breakfast and dinner in the cell. Middle of summer, 40 odd degrees outside, 50 degrees so glad.
Very old prison, and this is one of the worst.
You'd hope that you'd into it.
There's no television, no toilet here. It's pretty bad, very bad inside.
To the modern penitentiary system. So this place wasn't even
No one wants to go in his place.
the convict establishment until the
Serial killers, murderers,
18th was in place.
they put them here because it's very worst one. It's a bad one, the worst prison in Australia. As you can see that,
But the convict system is in place until
it's concrete, but you see inside, guys, it's small. I'll show you.
they are still
There's no bed, no shower. Come here. I'll show you inside.
penitentiary system is different. So it's basically the modern system. We have people within the grounds of the prison 24 hours a day, whereas in the convict system, during the daytime
That's
hours,
just
there are those
inside.
outside buildings or infrastructure. This is the scale of time. So this is until July 1857. This is after 1857. But very typically, let's see, what's your name? Chris. Oh, God, I said Tris, and I think I've done something the same name. Chris, is that short for Christopher? Man, I'm good at this. Now, Chris, you are a dirty, filthy, stinking convict. What did you do? What was your crime? Did you punch a horse? So the stereotype of London street kid like a right? There is an element of truth in that. people were being convicted of stuff like, stealing bread and then transporting it across the world. These are survival crimes. It's because people are so desperately impoverished, and the British just had insane laws where you could be locked up for stealing food because you were dying. Just horrible stuff. You might want to not claim on this stuff. Yeah, child, otherwise you're going to be locked up inside the cell. So, Chris, we're going to send it to 10 years transportation. Right? So, you'll be moved around different prisons in Britain for a bit, and then you'll have to do 9 months in the separate confinement system. That is where you'll usually be sent off to somewhere like Pentonville in England. You have to maintain silence pretty much 24 hours a day. Your name's going to be taken away from you, so you're not Chris anymore, you're Convict 1, 2, 3, 4. You usually get 23 hours in your cell, 1 hour of exercise a day, which has to be conducted in complete silence. Your exercise is usually walking in a circle with all the other blokes. If you misbehave, you'll be doing it and you'll be chained up to it. Or potentially made to wear a hood where you can only see the ground, you can't see anyone else. You've got daily prayers because church and religious education for the British was one of the most important parts of the convict system because they felt that was the only way for reforming people. So you have to attend church services every day. You are in a church which is essentially a large theatre with wooden booths where everyone can see the priest but you can't see or communicate with other people. If you misbehave at any time, the punishments are really heavy. So whips, chains, it's kind of sexy sort of stuff. And the whole point of that is to psychologically break people down. It's really brutal. Then they stick you on a boat. It would take you 2 to 3 months to get over here in appalling conditions. Then, Chris, you have to do, in your case, 2 years of public works, where you'll be distributed. You might be in the Fremantle area, but you might be sent anywhere across the southwest of the state. To do public works, that'll be like road building, bridge building infrastructure, essentially. You could be in like mobile work camps. You could be stationed here at Fremantle. You're building infrastructure. This is heavy labour.
Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to go inside now. We're inside already.
Leave. So 1 year, 3 months. Now, that is very similar to parole. You might be distributed to one of the regional centres. There was a series of regions in the southwest. Each region has got its own convict depot just outside the main town.
Okay.
You are assigned to that region.
This is the worst prison in Australia.
You are free to go anywhere within
No
that
television,
district. You are
nothing.
free to find employment,
Very old.
accommodation, but you have to report usually once a week to the magistrate. You can declare all of your earnings, your movements. There are strict regulations on what jobs you can and can't do. You could apply to get married, for example, but they can turn that down. And they come down on you like a ton of bricks because this is a sliding scale. So you are still technically a convict, you're just not held in custody. There's a curfew, so you usually have to be
I know, it's very old, 136 years old.
6 p.m.
And a lot of people died
If you
here.
guys go to any country town,
It's the worst in Australia. This is the worst prison in Australia.
you often see it, like if you go down south, I remember being in Queensland.
Yeah, it is haunted. It is haunted. There's a lot of people died here.
That's usually a hangover from the convict era, because that's the boundary beyond which convicts will not allow after 6 p.m. So they've got a curfew. You will be arrested and you will be charged if you break a curfew. That applied to all Aboriginal people in this country until the mid-1960s. Now, you do that for 2 years in your case. Public works, 1 year, 3 months ticket of leave. They will then give you, if you behave yourself, they will give you a
Colin, get up.
So that's a 4-year period for
Up,
Chris.
baby,
Now,
up.
that will free you up to move to other districts. You can go to other colonies, you can go to pretty much anywhere in Australia. You're not allowed to leave Australia.
Up, baby, get up.
It just means
God,
that you
Colin.
have fewer restrictions.
See you.
You are still paying.
Okay, no lolly.
Once
Free.
you've served out that period,
This is their shower, guys.
you have to pay a fine.
That's their shower.
Every convict was required to
That's
pay
their
a
shower.
fine, which was
I need to share a lot of people in this shower here. It's small. It's the worst. Hui, off there. Very bad.
You're going to be kept at poverty line for years. Once you pay off that fine, you are called an expiry, meaning your sentence has expired. And you can be written. You break the law.
Up, baby.
Yeah, chances are because you're going to do something that nowadays we think of as quite reasonable. I mean,
This is a haunted one, haunted. So many people die here.
Right, come on. Let's go upstairs.
You cannot look around, boy. This is, oh my gosh. We're going up? My God. Oh no. Shit, we're gonna go upstairs. Very. My gosh, we're gonna go on the top. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God, be careful. Why is so shaky? Oh my goodness, this is scary. This is so scary. Oh my God. Darling, why you walk so fast?
What's your step coming in? Have a look at
Oh my
the
gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh guys. This is like old. Goodness me. I'm a bit scared here because it's haunted.
Now, at one point, this was the largest prison library in Australia. Before it was a library, this was a classroom because we had juveniles in this prison until 1970. So, 13 to 17-year-olds who were required to attend secondary schooling. They maintained the education program after 1970.
Very old.
Yeah, now long before it was school, back in the 19th century, this was called an association ward, and it would have looked a bit like that. There was room here for 80 hammocks. On the floor underneath there's another 80, and then down the other end of the building another 80, another 80. And this is for ticket of leave people like Chris. Instead of being sent off to one of the regional areas, you might have been assigned to the Fremantle districts. You might meet hundreds of people working in Freo and all the stuff. And vagrancy was illegal. You weren't allowed to sleep on the streets or be homeless. You got arrested. No. So you can stay here until such time as you can secure your own accommodation. Because when you're first discharged, you're going to have no money, you don't have any work, where are you going to stay? And so the same happens if you were assigned to the regional districts. There is a convict depot outside of the main towns in every regional area, which is essentially like a secure dormitory. So you can stay there free of charge. You're given basically room and board until you can find your own place to live. But the timetables were very strict, so you're locked in here until the prison opens up in the morning. You have to be back here before the curfew. Again, you'll be locked in here. In the cell, at least you've got a little bit of privacy and you've got your own toilet bucket. In here, you've got 80 blokes all farting away at night. Middle of summer, at night, this would have been great.
Oh gosh.
And you don't get your own individual toilet bucket in here. This is a trough that everyone shared. It's not plumbed into anything, so that would need to be carried out every day.
Oh gosh.
Hygiene
Colin, come here.
would have been a bit lacking. So it was, any questions?
Colin, bye. See you. See you.
Yeah,
This is an old prison, the worst prison in Australia. No toilet, nothing. There's no toilet here. No TV, no electric fan, nothing. Very old. Okay, let's go, Colin. Bye. Bye. Very old prison. 136 years old. Darling, look, the boy, he's just run. Grab him. Colin, Colin. Wait. It's a bad, very bad prison. Very old.
that the division of wards didn't exist in the convict era.
Don't go too close on there.
Massive row of cells. They didn't really differentiate convicts, certainly not until, in fact, throughout the whole convict era. Everyone's just mixed in randomly. They didn't really interact that much. During the daytime, they're all outside building infrastructure. It's only really on half of Saturday and all of Sunday that they get a bit more interaction with their
Very old prison.
exercise yards, and they're not having to work. It's only in the modern era, turn of the century.
Haunted house, haunted prison.
And when the place becomes a penitentiary, the prisoners are in the grounds 24 hours a day, so they're going to have a lot more interaction. So it becomes necessary to segregate people very roughly according to the nature of the crime. So they specifically didn't want new arrivals mingling with old hands, for example, because they don't want to teach new guys all the bad tricks. You don't want violent and non-violent people mixing and interacting.
Hold him. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So we have 4 divisions.
Oh my goodness. Murderer and serial killer was here in this prison.
So division 1,
But,
juveniles,
oh my God.
70 people on remand, so could be innocent. Debtors, fine
Don't go.
people who are going to be maybe under 12 months. Now, division 2, in the early 20th century, I say early, actually,
Goodness me.
this was where they segregated Indigenous inmates. So it was very rare to have any Aboriginal prisoners in this place at all in the 19th century. Most Aboriginal inmates were sent to Rottnest. Have you guys been to Rottnest?
Yes.
So Rottnest was a prison.
Oh.
Essentially from 1834 until 1902. Rottnest was the Aboriginal prison. Conditions in this prison are bad. Conditions at Rottnest were about times worse. When they shut Rottnest prison down, all Indigenous inmates were moved into this prison and then segregated in Division 2 until 1965. Then integrated into the rest of the prison. After that, this became
Very old prison. People died here.
next story is violent crime. Division 4 is the
It's like notorious prison, like very old prison in Australia. And it's not nice. There's no toilet here. Like, this is the prison cell. Very small, made of steel and concrete.
the longest running, most damaging prison riots in Australian history.
Oh my gosh.
Most of the prison, and then you've got replacement time in the rest where that was burnt out and had to be what you said back here. Who knows what this room is?
Holy moly.
How do you know this?
What's this?
What gave it away?
Oh, maybe the cross and the red drapes.
They said, you're gonna die. Bang.
So this is the Anglican chapel.
Oh my God. This is the place they hung the criminal.
No, it's church.
Is that church?
That could be the
it's-
holy
Yeah, but
pigeon.
You're not listening.
So, for the British in the convict era, religious education was one of the most important parts of convict life because they felt it was the only true method of reforming people. They had to reform the soul. And that means that attending church services was compulsory.
thanks for watching, guys.
And pigeon.
I'm very curious to
And it didn't matter. You might protest against it. You know, someone might turn around and say, "Oh, I'm not Anglican." What do you think the people in charge are going to say? You are now, yeah. So it didn't matter. Now, because all of our convicts were British, you're not going to be getting lots of Hindus, Muslims, Buddhists, Jews, or anything like that. But if you did, there were a large number of Catholic convicts who did request, oh, could we have a Catholic chaplain? To begin with, the authorities said no, which is what the authorities usually said. Eventually, they did allow a Catholic chapel to be built, but church services were compulsory. So you did have daily prayers in the morning, and that was usually given by the priest, where they would go out, and the prisoners would stand outside their cells, and the priest would go out and deliver the sermon in groups. And we had the big Sunday services where you had a few hundred people crammed down there on the Sundays. There were also separate services for the senior officers and their families, so they don't have to interact. This is the nicest bit of the prison area. No bars on the windows.
No bars.
Down there, yeah, but that was mainly, the prisoners would have to sit on the floor, and then you'd have senior officers and their families were sitting in the pews, but that was separate. Yeah.
Well, who was up in this section here?
Now, this is
The prisoners were down there.
Well, you did have convents up here, but as we get to the end of the 19th century, it is no longer compulsory to attend church services, but attending church remained very popular because people tended
Don't go too close there.
religious in 19th century, early 20th century. Now, as we progress through the 20th century, church attendance rates remain really high, even though there's no requirement to. But the reason that church attendance rates tended to be really high is not that the prisoners were interested in coming to church, it's because of who was up here on the balcony. Now, if you look out that window there, you can see there's a red brick building on the other side of that wall. There's another part of the prison which is separate and isolated. Who do you think is in another part of this prison separate and isolated? Lady prisoners.
Oh, the lady prisoner is on the other side.
Women were up here on the balcony until the women's section closed in 1970. So attendance rates at church remained very high. The men once a week would come and sit down there and turn around and get a glimpse of the ladies up here on the balcony. When the women's section shut, bang, attendance rates dropped off dramatically. Including the actual religious people who kept coming to church. But the prison authorities in 1970 thought to themselves, oh, that's a shame, we like when men come to church. So they eventually came up with an idea of how these people can come back. What do you guys remember? What would you do? Sorry? What's your name? Have you ever worked in a prison, Justine?
No. Oh, well, yeah, I have. I used to take blood off the prisoners.
There you go. What's like a knife or something fun?
Darling,
You're
gonna be in the video.
Yeah.
I love the word phlebotomist because I can do.
Sounds really important.
Well, I can do a very specific joke, but you have to be old enough and culturally aware enough to get my joke. Because I would say, a phlebotomist, is that someone that studies Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Man? And they say, you get it! Just they say phlebotomist.
Yeah, I remember that.
You're actually not that far off. A female client. Where are you going to get women? Where are you going to get females from? Where are you going to get females from? Where? Go on.
Bandy up.
Bring Lady Chris along. There you go.
That's a women's prison.
Yeah. No, come on. What else would you do?
Import some.
Book a few in town.
Much easier than that. We're in a town centre, guys. What do town centres have?
Locals.
Yeah. No. No. I was going to say ladies in the north. The exact opposite. What is female but not a woman?
Ah, lesbian.
No.
What is it?
Female
Transfer.
but not women.
Transfer. What's that?
Transgender.
Thank you.
Transgender.
Guys, there is a place in 2 blocks up the road.
Ah,
It's full of teenage girls. In the early 1970s, they would get teenage girls to come and sing
ah.
for the men in a maximum security prison.
Oh,
Beyond. I've got an 11-year-old daughter. And so if you
that's
told
crazy.
me in 3 years' time, oh, hey, come and get your daughter, come and sing down at Casuarina.
I think so.
No. Scary.
And
He's
this is
going and lying down on the thing. Oh my god.
unfathomable. Yeah, it's so many levels wrong.
Let's go a little way.
Come on.
Okay, let's go to the other part. It's the church, in the prison church. It smells like so old here.
It's timber. It's jarrah.
Guys, I'm so scared to walk on this. It's so wood. Scary. Shaking. Oh gosh. Oh my god. Stop jumping.
Yeah. Now, hello. So, this is from 1988, and this is the aftermath of the big 1988 riot, where you can see there's been a lot of damage and a lot of roof has been destroyed. Now, do you guys, you realise that we are run by the state government? Are you aware of that? We're run by the state government, okay. Meaning technically I'm a public servant. Do you see what I'm doing here?
Working.
Okay. Ask me a question about the 1988 riot.
How long did it go for?
Sorry, how long did it go for?
Yeah, how long?
If you'd like to hear more about the 1988 riot, you'll need to go on our behind bars tour and learn see, we tell you enough to get you interested, and then we say, oh, you can go on the other tour, here's more money. That's what governments are about, isn't it? We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about bushrangers. Okay, so, you know about bushrangers?
Do what?
But you know of bushrangers.
Ned Kelly.
Okay. Do we all know
Ned Kelly.
Ned Kelly, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve Kelly.
Steve
down
Kelly. I don't know who Steve Kelly is.
It's his brother.
Is it? Yeah, brother. Right, okay.
Oh, no. Ned Kelly, Dan Kelly, Steve Hart and Joe Byrne.
Good old him. Yeah. Do you know what bushrangers are, Chris?
They're like thieves.
Like highway.
Famous
highway
thieves
robbers.
in Australia.
Now, the most famous one in Australia is Ned Kelly. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm from WA, right? So I've already got issues with Ned Kelly because he's from Victoria.
Yeah, true.
Now, you need to understand that all of the, and I'm sure it's the same in the States, and I'm sure it's the same in New Zealand, all of the states hate each other and think that we are the best state, okay? Unless it comes to, like, the cricket against New Zealand, bang, suddenly we're all best mates against stuff. Okay. And I'm sure the different islands of New Zealand, you all hate each other, but if it's something against Australia, you're going to be all stuff. Those bloody guys. Okay. So I don't like Ned Kelly. Now, I understand the anti-authority angle, and that maybe Ned was hard done by and possibly wronged by the authorities, but Ned Kelly also stole and murdered people. Now, there have been, the different states, different territories, they've all got famous bushrangers. I would not be able to name a South Australian bushranger. I know of one bushranger from Queensland, and this is the campus name for a bushranger I've ever heard of, because it sounds like he could have been knocking around, doing glam rock in the early 70s. Captain Starlight, I think was his name.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't that sound like the captain? Who are you, bold sir? I am Captain Starlight. Now, in WA, our most famous bushranger is a bloke that was called Moondine Joe.
Yeah.
All right, you've heard of Moondine
Yeah, we
Joe.
have his festival every year in Tuesday.
Tuesday, that's right. Now, I don't have my phone on me because that would become a profession if I did. So that means that it's a bit difficult for me to show you a photo of Moondine Joe because of not having my phone on me. I hope if my phone accepted what I wanted it to do. And you have to forgive my crapped screen. Now, That is a genuine photo of him and Danjo that was taken in around 1880. There's only 2 photos of him in existence. One of them is really, really blurry. This is the other one. By the toilets as you go through. Yeah, okay. Now, his real name was Joseph Johns. Until the 1990s, it was believed that he was Welsh, but his baptism records have been found, and it turns out he was actually from Cornwall in England. So he was born in 1826. 1849, he's living in Wales. He is arrested for breaking into a farmhouse with another bloke and nicking a whole ton of food. Sentenced to 10 years transportation. He is not sent here until 1853, and that is a full 2 years before the prison even opens. They were so desperate for labour that the 200 convicts on his boat were all given the ticket of leave as soon as the ship arrived in Fremantle. He is assigned to an area in the main town was called Newcastle, and Newcastle was renamed to
Come in this way. Come. Come.
northeast of here. He disappears from records. It's more than likely that he was doing odd jobs for farms. We know that he was living in the bush, which is quite unusual because he was only in his late 20s. When he arrived, he had no experience of living in the Australian bush, but he became known as a really expert bushman. And he settles in an area of the Avon Valley called Moondyke. That's how many years later he came to Moondyke Joe. Now, he appears in the historical record in 1861. Yeah. Now, he's working as a trapper. So he's trapping animals for food and meat, for skins, but he's also trapping livestock that have escaped from farms. He would often return.
Okay, hold mama. Hold mama.
Sheep, give him 10 people.
Bye bye.
There are lots of stories
Hold.
at night he's going around and breaking fences and opening gates and helping livestock.
Kule. Oi. Bye bye. I'm going this way.
1861.
Quickly, going this way.
Traps an unbroken stag and he brands it with his own personal mark, which is technically forced. You can't just claim on the brand instead.
Not there,
Horses were a
not
major
there.
commodity, really, really important and expensive at that point in time.
I go that
The
way.
rumour of this gets to the police, they come and arrest him, and they lock him up in the 2J prison, which is a very small building. Overnight, he manages to remove the entire door, steals the horse out of custody, and then steals the magistrate's writing gear and he buggers into the bush. They catch him 2 days later, the horse has been slaughtered, and there is a section of its flank that has been cut out and destroyed, presumably where the brand was, so they don't have enough evidence to prosecute him on the
Thanks for
horse
watching,
there.
guys.
So instead,